Did you screw up your wrist baiting? Oh, he said he screwed up his wrist right before he went on mic.
Yeah, no, I tried to climb through what used to be a chain link fence, now it's just bars, and hop up onto a wall on the side of the sidewalk up above the river, because I was...
The Mississippi River?
Yes.
Because we're Upper Midwest filmmakers. Hello, welcome to MBwTFB. I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick.
Why were you doing that?
Because it was a shortcut down to the trail by the river. And
You spent a lot of time... Wait, okay, yes, we're on a podcast, but you're showing me what you got your arms in the air. No, show me.
Top horizontal bar, then there's a lower one, and in between those is the top of the wall I need to get onto. And the upper bar is like above my height a little bit.
Okay.
So reaching up, I'm putting my boots up on the lower horizontal bar first.
He's not acting that part out.
And then going to propel myself up onto the wall on the other side of the railing. But my boots were muddier than I realized, and they went out from under me, and I fucking just popped the shit out of the ulnar side of my wrist.
The ulnar?
The pinky side.
That's called the ulnar side?
Ulnar, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you've had, like, wrist problems before, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
From baiting?
This one's maybe. The MRI, what's fucked up is that they did an MRI 2 weeks ago for a different part of my wrist closer to the thumb. And then I go and get injured again. And now but the MRI from before the injury this past Friday was like tendinosis in places where I didn't even feel pain. So I'm like, oh, okay. So they gave me Celebrex.
This is a show where we debate movie topics, just to be clear, because we're master
debaters.
Yes. That was good. Good performance in that. So what I'm going to bait you this week on is that you should have come to see I Saw the TV Glow, how it relates to If, and I'm going to spend this entire podcast trying to convince you to see Furiosa. Did you see Fury Road? That's my opening question.
I did.
How do you feel towards Fury Road?
Looks like more of the same.
Yeah, but if you like steak and you're going to get steak because you want steak.
Yeah.
Same with fish.
Like, I never rewatched Fury Road. You know what I mean?
Really?
No.
I have enjoyed it multiple times.
Yeah.
Like I would say I watch it probably it's 9 years since it came out. I've watched it every 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I've seen it,
I don't know. Like, I didn't not enjoy it when I first saw it, but
I bought the Blu-ray for $4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's what got me to You're a disc collector.
Yeah, I haven't bought anything in a while though.
How do you feel about George Miller? It's his name, right? Director George.
Yeah. He's
Happy Feet.
first. Yeah, I was gonna say he's Happy Feet, Mad Max, Happy Feet. So
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Based on just that, he had a Justice League movie that got canceled and was gonna have Armie Hammer as Batman. No.
What? Oh, he did Babe too, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
My older daughter liked that one.
Yeah.
I didn't get to finish it with them because I had to go to a show.
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember if I was working the show or if I was just seeing a show. Oh. Could have been either, to be quite honest with you.
Sure, could have.
So
I guess, yeah, I mean,
you'd consider seeing Furiosa. You like Anna Taylor-Joy.
Sure. I heard she's not in it until like the 40-minute mark.
Really?
I heard there's a huge...
See, this is why you shouldn't read this stuff.
I wasn't trying to seek it out.
I specifically avoid it. All I've really taken in, like when they give those initial, like, here's how I feel kind of things, like Zach Hamill, for example, since I'm saying his full name because he put out a review that he wants people to publicly read, and he's a great public reviewer, I think. He said that he really liked it, but that it was a slight come down, but he seemed a little more he had more reverence for Fury Road. Like, it's something he's come back to, I imagine.
Oh.
He's like thought about why it's good and tried to deconstruct why it's good, and I can't say that I haven't aspired to that myself.
Sure.
So what I think you should have seen the I Saw the TV Glow is because I didn't read anything about it. I saw a picture.
Yeah.
And then I heard it was A24.
Sure.
And that's all I needed. And you get A24. You're an A24 lover.
Yeah. I haven't liked everything they did. I didn't like Bodies.
Okay. I don't like everything my wife does, but I love her.
Sure.
That's your relationship to A24.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage.
I'm married to A24 and I'm fucking Neon on the side.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Neon, yeah. Well, Neon has like long legs.
All right, so you know what it's about more than I do, right? Like I don't want to tell you any more than what you already know because I know you read something that you were like, it's boring. And the whole first hour I was thinking like, is this boring? No, I mean, I can see why some people, it might not be what they're into. Kind of like Love Lies Bleeding wasn't what you expected, but it was, exciting. I think it's maybe they're only similar in that both the creators are LGBTQIA plus one of the letters. Okay. I heard the director of I Saw the TV Glow say it's a queer story, which I hadn't. I guess I could see. I made that connection coming out of the movie during the movie, but to have it confirmed like that in I don't know what you call one of these short 2-minute things on YouTube that I was showing my wife hey, here's what this movie was like. It was really weird. I'm not gonna say you should go see it, but I still think you should have seen it.
I'll catch it eventually.
Yeah. And I want to read a lot about what people think about the ending. To an earlier topic we've had before, there is a lot of suicidal ideation throughout. I think it's fair to say that because it's like
in that movie.
Yes.
Okay.
In I Saw the TV Glow, there's a lot of suicidal ideation and a lot of kind of people seem depressed. And just making the connection between people who are LGBTQIA plus have a higher propensity to experience suicidal ideation, which was my argument for why Ghostbusters was the thing that you said absolutely has no evidence to be other than that.
Yeah, I still think.
I'm just drawing a connection between two movies. Now let me draw one to If, because you're not going to see that, right?
No, I don't think so.
I've had the younger one at movies before, and she made it, but this one, there was no way from the beginning because the cartoon characters don't show up for a while.
Yeah.
And it starts very, sad, because it's another sad movie, just like I Saw the TV Glow was a sad movie.
Yeah.
At least when I go to see Mad Max, it's not going to be sad. It's going to be mad, but it's not going to be sad. Because there's only 3 emotions: glad, mad, sad. That's what they said in an improv class once, and I've tried to live by that in 2 other parts of my life.
Okay.
So I just think that maybe If was a little more sad than people expected, and it's not particularly geared towards younger children. It's families, yes, but 7 and plus families kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Garfield next week, 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds are going to be in that and still have to go potty once during it.
Yeah.
Which is,
they're not going to miss much.
The character has its charm. The stories for an hour and a half have never been well reviewed. I don't even know how you would do a good Garfield movie, thinking about it, because this one seems way of left field because he goes on some sort of adventure with Samuel L. Jackson. No, I'm serious. That's what I believe, because Samuel Jackson's on the poster I saw.
Really?
Yeah, his name is right next to Chris Pratt's.
Wow.
Yeah.
You orange motherfucker.
I hope that at some point he'll probably say orange mother fluffer or something. Oh, yeah. Moth fluffer. They'll get close.
Your motherfucker, fuck your motherfucking lasagna, you motherfucker.
I think Samuel L. Jackson might play his dad.
Oh shit.
They're animated, so it doesn't matter. It's on one of
when you first said I thought it was a live action Samuel L. Jackson fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No, he's playing a cat as well. Okay. Everybody.
That's gonna be even more hilarious. See the cat. See the cat's mouth. You motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm sure they G or PG rated Garfield movie that's coming out to get like parents with young kids to go to the movie theater, because if wasn't what they were looking for exactly. And it did better than the Fall Guy, but I think that it was set up to fail by it's going to be 40 million on opening weekend, and then it's going to be 30, and then it ended up at like 36.
Fall Guy or
Yeah, Fall Guy was projected at like 50 before it came out, and I think that it's just because of the dislocation between customers and the product.
Yeah.
COVID, actors strike, writers strike coming at the same time, delaying product.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, 2025 is going to be better. But that's why, and this is a business meeting, as we said we're going to make the podcast business meeting so we remember what's going on. That's why we should do the four-walling thing this year, because we have a rare window between Hollywood holding back, because they can take a lot. They know they opened 2024 going, we're going to take a loss in an election year. No one will hold it against us in our 3 to 5 year executive contracts.
Yeah.
So as long as we have a banger 2025, which we will anyways, because long-term economist prognosticators believe that interest rates will come down at some point, and then the economy will heat up again.
All right.
So what we need to do in the business part of the meetings is decide on tasks. Like I for instance, called the somebody who works up north where the movies are being made, and was like, what I haven't connected with them yet, but what I'm going to ask them is basically, what do you think about this advice that I got from this person who you know? Start there, and then go, which outlets should I reach out to as potential venues? And then separately, so that's like how I've prepared the conversation I'm going to have with this person. I'm not saying this person's name because I don't, whatever. And then also the band leader of the band I'm in, you know him, you worked with him, and talked to him, and he was suggesting sponsors. So like how he's got a list of, they'll do events and they'll have a sponsor of the event, like a beer or a THC company or something like that people, buy a lot of, and it's a consumable product that... Yeah. So something like that. He's got a list of them.
Okay.
So I think we need to sit down with band leader, because he lives in this neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One exit away anyways. And so talk to him, sit down, you and me, before... it won't be before next week, but in the next 2 weeks. Because I would like to see revenue come in from four-walling, but it's also not the only point to four-wall, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If we show we can get 100 people to show up in, Duluth, Minnesota, or Rochester, Minnesota, I'll just put out where I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Because those are outside the market. And I talked about last week that the guy who used to run Amazon was like, no one takes my advice. And it's like, yeah, I'll take your advice. And we got that advice from that lady I was talking to for a while. So why not try taking the advice and, a decent swing, 2 different hits in places that are locationally outside the Twin Cities. I was talking to, and jump in anytime when you've got thoughts, but I was talking to a friend of mine who's a performer. He's a voiceover performer, makes 6 figures as a voiceover performer. And he was saying, because we met through doing improv, that he thinks for just shows and stuff in the Twin Cities, first and foremost, everything's siloed. The theater people don't talk to the improv people don't talk to the movie people. These movie people don't talk to those movie people, and those movie people don't talk to these movie people. Right? And then because of those silos, you don't have a lot of cross-pollination, and there's a lot of things going on at once. So the market's kind of oversaturated, but everyone's like, I would say, below what they could be at. Even though like theater's booming here, that's why we have the second most seats per capita of any city outside New York, that sort of thing. And we have more advertising jobs per capita here than any place outside of New York. So certain arts are going to flourish to a degree for a while. But I think combining the live performance with the... Anyways, I pitched it to band leader, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, because of the point I made about 2024 being one of these years where we know studios specifically are holding things back for next year. So you think you'll see Furiosa?
Eventually.
Yeah, you'll see everything eventually. You're kind of like... I'm
not super motivated to see it.
Do you still have the subscription?
What?
To the theater chain that if you have...
Oh, no,
yeah. Well, my point is that basically because I have the subscription, I'll on Fandango say that I am seeing a movie even if I don't, because I'll see all 3 of my movies every week. Because I get Fandango every 4th movie, you get $5, and you can use it on Vudu, which is now owned by Fandango at Home.
Yeah.
It's called Fandango at Home because it's been bought out by them it was like 2021 during the pan.
Yeah.
And then you can just get I've gotten a 4K movie with $5 on what was formerly known as Vudu. And I've just built my library every other week and sometimes twice in one week just because of the way it falls. Using Vudu integrated with probably dumb. I don't know if it's dumb to say how many people are really going to listen to this, and then will they fight? Like, what would be hilarious is if the company cracked down on that because somebody said it on a podcast, but someone would have to hear the podcast. Yeah. And I'm just saying, so it's funny I recognize what I'm doing in the moment, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. What are they going to do? Take those away? It's digital anyways. They could take anything away for any reason. This movie is deemed,
Oh, yeah.
It's...
Yeah. You can't watch a giant ape cock swinging around just because it's IMAX.
Was there a giant ape cock on King Kong?
I'm talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I bet if you look closely, there's probably...
Oh, that one movie wasn't shot for IMAX. Like, it says it was enhanced for IMAX, and I believe that. Yeah. But it doesn't have... when you go on to IMDb and look under tech specs, because I've gotten Spectrum-y, is my mother would say that. Oh, that was the other thing about I Saw the TV Glow, is it like I didn't know whether to take some of the things as being they use the word queer, so I'll feel comfortable using that, I guess. Queer versus like Spectrum-y, Yeah. Like, oh, I recognize this as like, I know people on the spectrum. If you have ADD, you're supposedly on the same spectrum as people with autism. I don't claim to understand these things. I think they all go by neurodiverse or spicy, I've heard it put as.
Spicy?
Well, some people may find that as a way to feel in a group where social creatures, I don't know. Like, for example, I'm thinking of someone specifically I know who has, is it high-functioning autism? 'Cause it's not called Asperger's anymore.
Oh, maybe it isn't.
I think it's not. Anyways, this person was a roommate of mine. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And like, he's got very specific thoughts and likes to see all those movies just to comment on larger scale things. But he's like the only person who will get as in the weeds as I will.
Okay.
And I just couldn't tell, like, okay, is this someone being on the spectrum in this I Saw the TV Glow, or is this like someone is explicitly a lesbian?
Okay.
I don't... Yeah. It's not... It's said in passing, but it doesn't play into the story that much, other than, as, again, all I knew was a picture of Justice Smith and I can't remember the woman's name.
The daughter from Bill and Ted.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
I have that.
Bridget something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I liked that third one. Yeah, it was basically like, you didn't like it?
Thought it was all right.
Did you see Jay and Silent Bob Reboot?
I did.
You did? Do you agree they're very similar? Because it's like old stoner duo going on an adventure with their daughters.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
I still like that, and will show that to my daughters when they're like 15, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, we'll see. I mean, I showed Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar to one of them is because the cover's misleading.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have hated I Saw the TV Glow based on what I've revealed so far?
I don't think I would have hated it. I think it would have been one of those things where it's like, oh, I see you had a part of an idea.
Well, they had too many ideas, but continue.
Well, I guess the main setup is like, that's obviously one idea. I'm sure there are other ideas.
What's the main setup that you know of?
The TV show.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that going in.
Yeah.
That there was some Buffy-like TV show that they're obsessed with. Because I didn't even watch the trailer. And in the trailer, he says what made me think he was on the spectrum. He's like, I love TV shows. Like, that's, I think, a neurodiverse thing to be like, I don't love people, I love lamp kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I watch people quoted, I love lamp. I was like, well, actually, that's, that describes the truth for some people. Look,
Yeah.
God bless. Can I give you, so the suicidal ideation I've already told you about, plus the TV show they're in love with, and then whatever, and that connects them. So what I don't think is a spoiler to say is that the progression of media over time, and it's sort of a time travel movie, which I think they say in the trailer, but the way that it is a time travel movie isn't like and I don't want to say how it's like a time travel movie.
Yeah.
But specifically our relationship to technology as millennials and tapes, like you remember taping things, right? We've talked about tapes.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like? Describe how you think you feel toward media that you specifically taped off your TV back in the 90s.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are those tapes exist at in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
And like I would be interested in watching them.
Someone asked me, he doesn't care if I say his name, Kevin McMahon asked me if I had a VCR in the man cave.
Yeah.
Didn't I show you this? I showed it to somebody. Again, he wouldn't care about me telling the story because it's sort of cool. He bought a bunch of he didn't buy them. He picked up someone's VHS trash, more or less. They were going to get rid of it. But there's these websites that are free anything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So he picked up a bunch and wanted to watch. He's looking for a VCR. And he's like, oh, who would have one? You would in your man cave. And I was like, I totally would. And I now wish I did for that reason. And to be like, oh, Nick, what did you use to tape off of the TV? And did you edit out the commercials?
I would try to be there if I was watching it while and recording it. Because usually it was to record it for later, not because they were going to miss it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Wait, record to watch later versus not.
No, well, you're purposely recording because you're going to want to rewatch, not
not because you're missing it. You're setting a timer.
So I would try to hit pause when commercials came, but a lot of the tapes will still have the old commercials on them, which would be cool.
Yes, they would, and very worth it. And I was thinking of that. Kyle Moody has an obsession with that and did a cartoon show for Netflix where they had commercials. I think I'm remembering this correctly, and it was all done in the old style, so it was probably cheap to produce, but unique in its approach to something we're familiar with, being from that time.
Yeah,
the Netflix generation that's growing up on Netflix, as my kids are too, but they also have discs, so they're gonna have some tactile relationship to media, and this movie shows it, so it was intending to say it.
Yeah.
Hey, look at the relationship. Name one thing you taped, and why you taped it.
The original broadcast of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I much later than that, 15 years after that, and 12 years after that, had taped entire seasons of Scrubs onto multiple. No, but I was considered very, very cool on my choir trip bus because they only had VHS players on the bus. Did you ever take those trips in high school where you had to get on a bus that had TVs? It was like, whoa.
Fuck no, I never went anywhere that far with school.
Oh, because I lived in a rural area. So when I ran away from the family as a young Farx brother,
Yeah.
I had to, like, for swimming, for choir, and then for a class trip to, I can't remember where, but like everyone was there, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna risk it, and I'm gonna pull out Scrubs. And initially, some people were like, "What? I've never watched this. This isn't cool." But then everyone came around to it, and like, it won over the women specifically. So it's like, so you only have to, that's what I learned.
Yeah.
You only have to win over the women, and then the guys will come along because they watch shit they don't want to like. But women don't like. I would never tell my dad to watch John Wick with my mom.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
But he should watch, Hallmark stuff with her, and be nice, And now he's like lost all his drive and will say things like, I just want to watch nice things. Then like a John Wick will come along, or an Equalizer. It's like, yeah, give me an old guy with a gun. I like to imagine. Has your dad ever shot a gun? Our real father, not my adopted.
Not that I know of.
Huh.
I can't. Yeah.
My dad taught me to shoot, adopted dad, when I was like 14 with a rifle. Like, hey, we're going to try to hit a paper plate in the woods
Okay.
at a 20-yard distance or something like that. And then go to Godfather's Pizza.
Okay.
So I have both like, shooting a gun is fun, but also I think of the pizza afterwards.
Oh yeah, it's like you go into a pizza place and then you get an urge to fire a gun, and then everyone in the pizza place.
No. The times I've fired guns, I've just always had. I think we got Taco Bell after we fired guns that one time, didn't we? You don't remember?
Oh yeah, no, we did. Yes.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Because we had to edit some. Yeah, we were editing.
Yeah, that's all.
That's right. Yeah. So no to Fury. I think I'm gonna go tomorrow after we do that other podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, what time? Oh, okay. That late, huh?
It's there, yeah. I mean...
Is it a Zoom? It's a Zoom podcast, right?
It's a Zoom podcast, from what I understand. We could be in 2 separate locations, but I'd come to you, potentially.
Okay.
Or you could come to me. It's up to you. We'll decide on air. That'll be fun. No, I'm kidding. We can decide that later. It's not good podcasting. We're broadcasting right now, you say.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be having a debate about... I think we should never let go of the speed debate, because I think there is something to, like, iterating and speed. Like, last week we debated a lot about, well, I just like to take my time with drafts. Sure. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about speed to get from one iteration to another, which is what drafting is, yes. But I'm looking at it, I guess, more macro than the micro of, there's going to be, sometimes it's going to be 7 weeks and sometimes it's going to be 70 weeks to get this 100 pages done. It'll probably never be 7. I should have said 17. 17 to 70 seems reasonable. To get to one draft. And then, because from anything that you're going to have to change shit because of realities, stuff.
Yeah, but that comes later. That comes after
the perfect script is written.
After it's going into production. Or it's going, on the verge of going into production.
And that's where, like, the podcasts and the advice folks that are professionals willing to say something to the effect of, yes, you write a draft that gets it made. Drew Pierce said that for Fall Guy when he was being interviewed on the Q&A podcast, Jeff Goldsmith.
Okay.
Somebody will historically record check me and know that I was correct. He said the third draft got the project sold, and it had nothing to do with the quality of the draft, he said.
Yeah.
It was because they could get Baby Goose for a pay-or-play deal. So it's one of those things where if they don't make the movie, they pay Baby Goose millions of dollars. And if they do make the movie, he gets whatever that is, plus some sort of back end. Like, I'm sure they had something like that for Barbie.
Yeah. And
he and Margot Robbie are both, well, she's probably making hundreds of millions off of that.
Yeah.
And he's making tens.
Yeah.
Because Nolan made like 100 million off of his deal.
Yeah.
For Oppenheimer. And that didn't even reach $1 billion.
Yeah.
But that's, that's when you're a big D swinging in the big leagues. You didn't see American Fiction yet, did you?
No, I did see it.
You did. Oh yeah, you did. You saw it before me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A lot of people are, since it came on to Prime, kind of like Dune just came on to Max, talking about how good it is, and I agree it's good, but I remember at the time you being like, well, I thought it was going to be more about the book he writes, in the sarcastic book he writes that gets him famous, than it was like a family drama. It reminded me of like As Good as It Gets or something like that.
That was basically, it almost felt like the B story.
Yes, it did. It was the B story.
Well,
the A story was the family stuff. It's just they didn't advertise that. And I like adult movies that deal with adult topics. Like, and not that it was prurient or anything. It was just those kinds of storylines are for like teenagers aren't going to see that movie and be very into. I would have seen it because I would have said, "Oh, this movie's getting good reviews." And when I was 14, I was like, I'm going to see every movie that gets good reviews.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to see every movie that get...
Like, I saw Sideways in theaters in like 2004 or 5. I remember seeing every Coen Brothers movie just because, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like a specific kind of kid that ends up like this.
Yeah.
Talking to two black dicks. I was doing the ski machine to work on my shoulder before class.
Okay.
I think it was today. And two of the older people who are always in class were looking at me from the other room and like laughing because I was doing the skier. And like, I think it looks like one thing. Jerking off two dicks.
Oh, really?
You know, Bill Maher. You were watching Bill Maher, and he says, I'm going to do it every week.
The Trump
two dicks jerking off. And like, even comedian Trump's got to give it up for that joke. That's a good joke. Because it does look like he's jerking off two guys. Stopped. He's a terrible dancer. He hates dogs. Terrible dancer. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Way more funny than the guy who falls asleep. And, don't watch If.
Yeah, I didn't really plan to.
I know, but it was sad, and that makes me sad. And I don't not think we should have, because the 4-year-old, the 11-year-old, and the 7-year-old were all really into it.
Oh.
And it's been talked about at length since, like, the Steve Carell character that's advertised, that I heard him specifically say, oh, it's supposed to be cute to an audience on a late night show, but the eldest daughter found it to be frightening. Like that specifically frightened her, which surprised me. And I'm sure it's a metaphor for something. And that was Bobby Moynihan's If. So basically the plot of the movie is that something is wrong with John Krasinski. It's something medical, and the reason the first 10 minutes don't work is because it's up, but it's like, so she loses her mother, and then a year later her dad's over the meat of this story having some sort of medical event while she goes off in New York hanging out with imaginary like, this just shows you that the people in New York do not care about each other, because they see a child who is acting strangely and just leave her alone. Don't call anyone, don't like question that. They're just like, whatever. That's just some 12-year-old walking around talking to nothing there.
Yeah.
Because they can't see the part of the plot is that you can only see your imaginary friend when you like find that childlike part inside you.
Yeah.
So just right there, that's too complex of an idea for a child of a certain, and I'm not against it. I thought it was going to be more Roger Rabbit than I Saw the TV Glow, sad and introspective.
Yeah.
Ben Canuck, who I was mentioning earlier, has made a great joke. I'm going to tie this in. A great joke about pop music today, and that he thinks it's worse, not because it's bad, but because it's sad. Like, the pop music today isn't like, yeah, we're all horny and we want to fuck. It's like, oh, I'm sad. I think about killing myself, Like Billie Eilish versus Madonna. Yeah. Madonna's, like a virgin. And Billie Eilish is the sad song in the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great observation, and that's why I think maybe If and I Saw the TV Glow may be right for the marketplace, because they will resonate with, like, If surprisingly has an A cinema score, which is the survey thing. You know, those people with the tablets?
Yeah.
After the movie? And the people willing to talk to those people gave it an A. We had a neurodiverse person come up to me and 3 children.
Okay.
And accost us with his opinion at the end of the movie. Like, it really resonated with him. And then I saw him talking to a family who had been sitting in the row with us, which I was embarrassed because my younger daughter had to get taken home. It didn't work. It was dumb to try on this one. She's made it. She made it through our short film festival.
That's, yeah.
And when I tell people, like, people who have been to that film festival are like, whoa, wait, was it like the safe one? And I was like, yeah, they do it safe now, because remember the year they had the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. And I was there, and Leanna was there. Oh, man. That was ugly. There were kids there. It's basically someone, there were like violent movies, like violent shorts mixed in with a kid's short, because like the kids came because they were in it, so they wanted to see themselves on the big screen. Yeah. And then there were some sexually explicit ones where they, like, someone talked about, you know,
her dad fucking her.
That is what she says, yes.
Yeah.
Which is
making jokes about it.
Yep. Actually, Kirk sent me a joke today that was a woman saying, you know, I got beat when I was a little kid with a hanger, a metal hanger. But eventually my mom graduated to a belt when I was born. And Kirk was like, this is dark. And then I sent him Tony Hawk Pro Choice 2, and it's a pregnant woman about to drop into a half pipe. Man. And I don't think we could talk about those types of, like, I mean, obviously it's ridiculous. That's why it's funny, because it's so horrible.
Yeah.
And I can come back from that and go, well, it's not real. And obviously that would be terrible. What it's, you know, hilarious. Like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. That's why comedy and horror are so akin, because it's, do you have the mental elasticity to separate yourself from, like, this isn't reality, you know?
Yeah. 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 I mean, because you're not doing that in a drama, you know, I mean, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Dramas are like, oh, I don't have to, like, oh, this is truth. There's truth here.
Unless it's like a Lifetime thing or a Hallmark thing, then all sorts of things happen that are detached from reality.
One is more thrilling and one is more upbeat. Like, oh, I'm going to watch this while baking cookies. And I bet you many people do.
Yeah, baking cookies.
I like cookies, so God bless them.
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you mean drama is not...
Well, that's the genre where you're least likely to, you know, have that freedom or that expectation to not be so grounded in reality. Like, you know, because in both genres, I think that's what you were saying. Stuff happens that,
horror,
you know,
comedy, yes.
They both work in a stretched reality.
Yeah, that's why movies that are funny, where the jokes are just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think Bad News Bears with the racism, or Animal House with pedophilia, literally, you know?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I remember watching that at 14 with my adopted mom, and it's sort of being, because all she remembered was SNL, funny, and like he saw Blues Brothers, so
yeah.
And there's stuff in Blues Brothers, there's stuff in Ghostbusters, like we've hit all that.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know, like, I guess I'm glad that you wouldn't do a joke exactly like that anymore, but I mean, how different is that from making it seem like the baby gets hit in the face in The Hangover by the car door? Because the baby didn't actually get hit in the face by the car door.
Yeah, I mean...
And it would be horrific if it did, but it's hilarious in that movie because, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
my point just being, I don't like those that force me or others to stay within the realm of drama because it's real.
Yeah.
It's hinges closer to reality. But that
You can find the ends of the spectrums of comedy and horror, though, that also do stay more grounded in reality, like comedy that's super, like the most natural, natural, everyday.
Coen Brothers are kind of comedies that are sort of...
Yeah.
Fargo is a comedy.
Yeah.
I'll think of another example, that improv guy that's married to Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Guest. His movies are very naturalistic.
Yeah.
But
so that could be the end of comedy that's like ground, where it's almost as grounded as drama, right?
Sure.
You have on the horror end, you have something where it's not stretching reality, it's not dealing with anything supernatural. It's like it's like a Silence of the Lambs or something like that.
Silence of the Lambs is thrilling.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's not a stretching of reality. It's not it's a concept where you're going fantastical or anything.
Sure. And that was very successful for probably that reason, is that people in the Midwest and the South weren't totally put off by it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure these could be successful at some times and unsuccessful at other times, but I'm saying that it's like the equivalent of the like comedy and horror are the ones that need that elasticity, but they have tips of their spectrums that do align with the more groundedness of drama.
Tips of their spectrums,
like they're most of the range is like stretching reality, but then on the very end of it, if you're like rating it by like percentages, like if this was a chart.
I was trying to hit you a good point because I was going to go celebrate you and then try to bring it back to business since we're not baiting very hard.
Yeah.
So we agree that I should have the conversation with the one person, and then we should sit down with the band leader 2 weeks to be not before the next episode, but before 2 episodes from now. You and I should have talked to him and gotten some ideas, like the sponsor thing.
Yeah.
Big. And then here's the takeaway homework for you that I think you'll be open to. Well, in the lead up to 4 to 6 weeks out from selling tickets to this thing, we would probably need to area target with like a video ad. And the video ad would just be clips from the things that we're going to show. So the question is, and you would have had to do this anyways, are all the things available to you, and could you get them in a timeline, DCP? And we'd have to talk about, there's lots of things that would come from that, but like, can you locate all the files is basically the question right now for the horror, because we're going to do the horror one in the fall, and then assume we'll have success, come back in the spring to the same locations, and specifically like the other things we'll have to do that we don't have to like do before next week would be like, okay, when are they really not putting out any movies, Yeah. Because there's going to be that, and the theaters will be even more open to, there's not a big release this week. Like, we can't do it right now, but the weekend the Bike Riders is coming out, it's like that might do 40, that might do 50. I don't know, but like
the Bike Riders
with Tom Hardy and
Elvis do 40 or 50.
I don't know. It could. Like, it's the only thing coming out. No one knows what it's going to work. And the reason I think that could work is because something like Sons of Anarchy was so popular.
Yeah.
And had staying power in culture that, I don't know, maybe, who knows, maybe the $90 million 3-hour Kevin Costner Western will pay for itself and justify the second one that's already coming out.
Okay.
You knew about that, right?
Horizon?
Yeah, Horizon Part 1, Horizon Part 2, as part of a quadrilogy. He plans it to be a quadrilogy of 4. He's been saying it over at Cannes.
Okay.
He put $38 million, he put 8 figures of his own money up, and basically he's said that it's kind of like what Shyamalama Ding Dong did with his house. He's got one of his properties up because he's a very rich man and he doesn't make most of his money from like acting anymore. He owns patents to...
Who are we talking about?
Kevin Costner. Horizon.
Yeah, but you said Shamalama.
Oh, he put his house up to get what was it, Split made or The Visit or something?
Oh, probably The Visit. Cause
Yeah.
it's kind of his comeback one.
Exactly. And that's a baller move. But he wasn't, the same level of wealthy as being, the top of his game and earning potential for decades like Costner was.
Yeah.
Or, Coppola having made The Godfather, and that probably giving him tens of millions every year for, well, not tens of millions in residuals, but it's got to be, and he owned like a 9-figure vineyard.
I was about to say he makes wine too.
Yeah. And basically,
I almost bought some
really
the other day, but
to support Megalopolis.
Other brand was cheaper, so
yeah. Are you excited for Megalopolis? Is that something you'll go to see in?
No, I'm sure it's gonna be like 5 fucking hours long, right?
It's 2 hours long.
I mean, depends on what I hear about it.
I heard it's fantastic. It's a mess, but it's fantastic.
A fantastic mess. Okay.
Other things are fantastic. Like, what's the last thing you liked? Oh, you like First Omen.
I mean, Fall Guy.
Fall Guys, yeah. Did you like Fall Guys better in its genre than you liked First Omen as a Omen movie?
Oh.
Am I missing any that you like this year? Well, consider the thing, but steam coming off.
Yeah, I mean, First Omen, as an Omen movie, judged again, I don't know.
Because you're really into the Omen movies? Is that...
I just think, I stumbled upon them later in life. I'm like, oh, there's a solid, great movies there.
Yeah.
Out of 4.
Oh, yeah, because the made-for-TV movie isn't as good. Yeah. But you have to watch it when you're going through everything. Kind of like the Apes movies, I haven't continued into the worst ones, but I'm still interested to do so.
Yeah.
And I will, because the Tim Burton one didn't go over well enough with the kids when we were watching in the man cave while grilling.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been hey, we're going to go squirt water at each other outside, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But also there was some aversion to, monkey!
Yeah. So yeah, I think Fall Guy is, I guess, more satisfying relative to its genre than First Omen.
It's already on streaming.
Fall Guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Universal has a thing, I guess, where
17 days.
If they don't open 50 or more.
Oh, yeah. 17, if there's not 50 or more, so they just have to say it's going to be 50.
Huh?
Oh, because they can, the way it'll get monetized on streaming, they know their business. They're going to make the money. And those $20, because I remember when Tower Heist was $80, and I was like, oh, will people ever do that? In 2011. And now in 2021, buying a $20 or $30 movie that was in theaters 2 or 3 weeks ago isn't seen as a big deal. I mean, if you really wanted to see it, right?
Yeah. You said Tower Heist was $80?
Yeah, it was like a new thing that you could buy because the cartel of theaters where movies made a bulk of their money kept certain things going, and then the disc market made it possible for other things to flourish. Matt Damon said on, I don't know where it was, something to the effect of, the DVD market is why we were able to make a bunch of these smart adult movies that were tens of millions of dollars in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? You just took a
big sense.
Oh. So how do you make that money? Basically, look at Hundreds of Beavers. You heard of that?
Yeah.
And what that guy did was 4-Wallet. And I liked it. I would even recommend it as one of the strongest movies this year, if you're in the right mood to watch it.
What mood do I have to be in?
It's silly because it's like live action mixed with old style cartoon, and it tells a very complete story, but very wordlessly.
Okay.
And it again,
Where would I find it?
You just buy it on Amazon because I should have invited you when Ben Kanak invited me over to watch it, and like he was more in tune with it than I was, or like aware of it. And then I had heard of it, but hadn't gotten like deep in the weeds like he had, and it was very funny. I knew very little about it. Like that with some of these other movies, is just not knowing very much about them and going in. The person I saw the TV Glow with made a good point. He said that possibly the reason that you can't do drama anymore for the movie theaters. No. Can't do drama for the movie theaters. So the only way to get it in is do some sort of A24 horror thriller, and that's what this was. I still don't get the ending. I'm not going to say what it is, but just the relationship to technology, the relationship to time, and then the things you already talked about, the relationship to a TV show and suicidal ideation. That is too many things in the stew, I think. I don't know. But again, it'll resonate with some people more than it'll resonate with other people. And
I'll check it out. I mean, I think I'm going
to... So I won the bait.
No, I mean, I was...
Nah.
I didn't think that was the agenda.
The real win would be if you were like, yeah, I want to go see Furiosa at 10 tomorrow.
No.
It's 2.5 hours.
That's exactly why I don't want to see it.
Look it out at 1.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Probably can't do it, but I'm thinking about trying.
There's no fucking way.
It'll be fun.
Hi.
Super, super fun.
So the first 40 minutes is like 9-10-year-old Furiosa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like 2 movies then.
I mean, that's what the reviewer, forget who he was saying.
Then it's like a trilogy.
Yeah.
With the other one.
Yeah.
That's cool. He snuck it in.
I guess.
Someday watching all that, like, I could see watching that in the not too distant future with the girls.
Furiosa.
Depending, like, because my kids are the youngest in the gaggle.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I mean, the 11-year-old hasn't seen Barbie, but her parents don't. Yeah. My older one was like, "What is that?" Like, she'd never seen a Barbie before, and my wife told me specifically they don't do Barbies till like 6 or 7. So like to a 4-year-old, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Barbies still look like Barbies to me, and it's like if that was a real person, she'd be 7 feet taller and she'd have feet the size of Shaq or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I think so.
And we both like Barbie.
Yeah.
Don't send the Swifties after us. So the bait would be, do you like the idea for, okay, I just need to be able to identify the files, and at some point between now, the future of the fall, when we pick a date where it's like, I think it's going to be slower because X, Y, Z. And then, so that's something that we can both kind of like look at. It's like, what dates do we think would work? And then put those on a piece of paper. Because the other thing will be like reaching out to the venues, whatever they may be.
Yeah.
And going, when works for you? What is the cost potentially? And then what band leader was saying about sponsors is like them maybe taking the cost or splitting the cost of the venue and doing a promotional event for their product, whatever that is. And I don't care. I don't think you do. Like, I would sell out for beer tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for much less than that.
I'm going to say might be helpful to very carefully choose like a sponsor depending on the audience. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like a college versus a community audience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's out in the country, like, get John Deere to fucking sponsor it.
We're not going out in the country. You know that.
Yeah, I don't want to get
Texas Chainsaw Massacred in
I don't want to get
Minnesota.
Deliverance with like an ear of corn.
That wouldn't be so.
Iowa.
Is it? Wait, is again? We're not going to go all the way to Iowa yet. I would if if it made sense based on what we could try. Because the other thing about if the horror one works, there's no reason we couldn't hit new places the following year.
Yeah.
So it's like a repeatable thing. And then the other thing that will happen is people will come to us to try and get on our show, and then split some amount of like they're not making X per movie, but they could make 0.7X, and the 0.3 goes to us simply because, hey, we had to go through starting the LLC. Yeah. We had to go through the legwork of identifying the places and talking to people and having the cojones to, do that. But again, we're getting the advice, do that. And you and I agree we have enough content. We've talked about putting a DVD out there. You could print some DVDs and bring them.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And actually, you would probably need one as a backup anyways. So when you're printing one up, print 10.
Yeah.
Then what do you usually sell DVDs for when you do it for like the sports thing you do?
Oh, dance. It was dance.
Dance is a sport. I was being I was being non-specific so that your client wouldn't be.
I don't do it anymore, but
you don't?
No, I haven't done it in years.
I suppose I should have noticed. Oh yeah,
COVID, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
you used to lose clients.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the point is, how much did you sell those discs for when you made it for them?
$30. It might have been 30, 40 bucks, maybe. No, 30. Yeah, about 30.
I think I'd sell it. I don't know. I guess, and you can make a Blu-ray just as easily as you can make a.
Each one takes longer, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To burn.
Okay.
The authoring would be all the same. Actually, the authoring software is not available anymore. Like Adobe killed it. So even if you had it before, when they were on CS6 before they went to the cloud thing, because they didn't bring it onto the cloud platform. But so then people like me had the Encore authoring program, and then it still worked, but until some update came through, and then that didn't work. So we don't have Encore. I mean, it's on the shitty Mac in there, but
is that you burn things with your Mac, not your PC?
Yeah, it was always the Mac.
Huh.
And the authoring software is on there. And now that's all that, but that Mac runs like shit, but like it's got Adobe Encore on it.
Well, and this is a very like ancillary part of the plan.
Yeah.
But the point is still that, at Z-Fest, I guess I shouldn't have said it, but I don't care. I'm going to promote the podcast if we get up there for anything.
Yeah.
We're nominated, I don't remember how many times. Leanne, or my wife was like,
WTF, Best Kiss.
You remember? We always get WTF and Best Kiss. Like, what's that about?
Kiss.
We're like a what the fuck kisser.
Who was the kiss in this movie?
The line you like.
Oh, okay.
That was cute the way I referenced that, and he knew immediately. I just want you to take that home, audience. Kirk?
I think there were a couple other ones. But, yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, best credits.
I hope you win. Wait, didn't you get one year for that?
I never won.
Didn't you go up on stage for an award one year when I was taking a whiz or something?
Yeah, I did for something. Well,
and that's why we had Elisa go up most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't asked Elizabeth if she's going to go up for these, but I would send her before I'd send you or me. But I'd send her with a little piece of paper that's like, please promote their podcast. And then write the name out.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a Youngblood ask me about another Youngblood this week, just because I had said some kind of aggressive, but I felt truthful thing on like a comment. It's like, oh, I saw your comment, and I didn't know if he meant on YouTube or one of the social medias.
Yeah.
But he was just like, what do you think of this guy? And I was like, oh, I think he's great. It's like, yeah, you guys both seem kind of blunt, so I figured I'd just ask you, like, what do you think of it? It's like, you should work with him, you know. It's funny that people like vet people. It's a normal thing to ask, you know, hey, what do you think of this person or whatever. I guess I should do more of that. Do you do that? You don't talk to people.
No.
You don't meet new people.
No.
You're always a social butterfly when I see you out in public.
Yeah, I have my times.
You have your skirts. Okay, so what we're walking away with from a business perspective is I've got 2 conversations to have. I've got 1 conversation to have, 1 conversation to set up. Band leader conversation is the one I'm setting up.
Yeah.
You'll identify the files. We'll look for a weekend. Those are achievable goals.
Yeah.
In the short term.
Sure.
Because even if we find we need at least 2 weekends, or we could do, I guess we could go, multiple times. The other thing that band leader says, do a series. Like we could have a 5 o'clock, a 7 o'clock, and a 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Or then, out in hour 45.
Yeah.
It's still, and then the sponsor can be there the whole time, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just about coordinating enough different people, and then even maybe giving away half the audience just to get an audience there the first time.
Giving away
Tickets.
the ticket. Yeah. Yeah, you do the first 20 people for something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I twirl my mustache.
You twirl. Was that you? Everyone's in sales, and you felt it for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the bait side, I won on I saw the TV glow because you'll approach it with an open heart.
I mean, I already knew I would have checked it out when it became easily available, as in meaning free.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's still it's one of your subscriptions at home versus the outside your home subscription you have.
Yeah. Yeah. So
just want to find a reason. Well, if we could after the recording tomorrow, we could see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I can see any movie after that.
Why?
It's too late.
All right, that is true. That is true, but I don't care. I just need to see a movie.
Especially a fucking long ass movie.
Yeah, all the good movies this year are like 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
Well, no, cause the Fall Guy was longer than 2 hours. First One was 2 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like right on the dot.
Yeah.
I remember when movies got shorter in the 90s, like down to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then they creep back up there. But that's how you made a lot of money, is that you could have a 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and a 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why putting together, let's see, so 100 minutes, and we have 60 to 70. What would it be? 8 times 4 is 30, right?
Which movies are we talking about?
Well, you do Puppet.
Night, Puppet King, Surrogate.
Yeah. Could potentially throw the documentary in, or
yeah,
and then that's that. What?
I'd probably say throw it in. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if you're going to the documentary, have the documentary play before Molly, not show Molly May I.
Yeah, I'll show Molly. Yeah.
But the point is that's 70 minutes. With the credits, I would encourage, as it will be big in the theater, you could play it at double speed and.
Yeah.
I know why you use the whole minute at the retail festival we do that allows 1 full minute of credits.
Yeah.
And it's to use the whole minute, and that's great. When we sped it up for other public screenings, it's been, except in the case where it's just one of our things, not going to another one of our things, then I like it because it spreads us out from the other people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should we end on that?
Yeah. We're done.
All right, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No.
We didn't bait anything.
We didn't have anything to, yeah.
You don't see movies.